All right, today we're going to peel back the layers of our economy. We're going to follow the journey of pretty much everything we touch to really understand the three fundamental stages that get goods and services, well, into our hands.
I mean, think about it for a second. That coffee you might be drinking, the phone you're probably holding right now, where does it all really come from? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer pulls back the curtain on this massive, interconnected system that's quietly shaping our world. And that system, the economy, is essentially built on three key sectors.
So let's get into it. How are economies actually built? The best way to think about it is like a production chain. It's a journey, really. A three-step journey that starts with the Earth itself and ends directly with you.
And that journey, it pretty much always follows these three steps. It starts with the extraction of raw materials, moves on to manufacturing them into goods, and then finishes with the services that bring it all to us. So let's start at the very beginning. Every building needs a foundation, right? Well, for the economy, that foundation is the primary sector. This is the absolute starting point for all economic activity. So what defines the sector? It's all about its direct connection to nature. We're talking about taking the raw, unprocessed materials that become the building blocks for literally everything else in the economy.
And you see this everywhere once you start looking for it. Think about farmers growing wheat out in East Anglia, those massive oil rigs drilling deep in the North Sea, or miners pulling resources from the ground. This is humanity's direct interaction with the planet.
But what do you do with a pile of wheat or a barrel of crude oil? Well, not much on its own, right? You've got to take it to the workshop. And that brings us to the second stage, the secondary sector. This is where the magic happens. The secondary sector is all about manufacturing. It's about taking those raw materials we just talked about and transforming them into the finished products we recognize and use every single day. The examples here are things you can literally touch, from the Nissan cars rolling off the assembly line in Sunderland to the beer being brewed in Burton-upon-Trent. This is the sector that physically builds, assembles, and creates our world. Okay, so we've got our finished products. We have a car, a t-shirt, a loaf of bread. But how do they get to us? And what about all the other things we need that aren't physical objects? That's where the third stage, this huge network called the tertiary sector, comes into play. The key distinction here is that one word, services. This sector doesn't make things, it does things. It provides expertise, convenience, care, and entertainment. Honestly, it's the real engine of the modern economy. Just look at how huge this is. It's the person scanning your groceries at Tesco. It's the doctors and nurses at the NHS. It's the banker at Barclays who helps with your mortgage, your teacher, or your bus driver. The vast, vast majority of jobs today are right here, in the service sector. Now, here's a really important point. The balance between these three sectors isn't static. It's not set in stone. It changes dramatically over time. So let's use the UK as a case study to see exactly how this evolution happens. And here it is, the modern reality in the UK laid bare. The primary and secondary sectors, the ones that once dominated the entire economy, now employ just a fraction of the workforce. The tertiary or service sector is overwhelmingly where the jobs are today. So why did this happen? Well, it's kind of a tale of two trends. In the primary sector, mechanization, tractors and modern farming equipment, just means fewer people are needed. In the secondary sector, a lot of manufacturing has shifted to other parts of the world. And all of that economic energy and all those jobs flowed into the growing service sector. This table really distills the entire story. As technology and globalization made extraction and manufacturing more efficient or just moved it somewhere else, the services sector was there to absorb that economic energy, and it grew massively. This is the essential story of a modern, developed economy. So, look, if you take just one thing away from this, let it be this. As countries develop, their economies don't stop making things, but the whole center of gravity shifts. It moves from farming and factories to shops, hospitals, and offices. And that brings us to a final and pretty critical question. The first two sectors were totally transformed by technology. Now, AI and automation are beginning to do the exact same thing to the service sector itself. So what comes next? Is there a fourth sector? That's the question that will define the economy for the next generation.